Hey, welcome to baloneybrain.com for another version of Weird Wednesday. Stories of the wild, the wicked, the crazy, the silly, the dumb criminals. We've got it all here. Joining me, of course, is I'm John House or Used Toy. Joining me is Daryl House or Suburban Hobo. How you doing, Daryl?
I am so excited. Today is the day. We have been working towards this day for how many months? We have been planning today.
For quite a while.
We'll tell you more in a little while, folks, but today is an important day at baloneybrain.com.
Well, what do you have for us?
Oh, I got some. You know, last week I did all Florida. This week I'm doing all Florida again. There cannot be a more ripe spot for interesting news stories than Florida. How about this? You know the old saying, no means no?
Yes.
Okay, well, that usually has to do with men and women and sexual relationships. Here's another example where it would work out. Up in the Hillsborough County, that's over by Tampa, by the way, a convicted felon prohibited from possessing a gun accidentally shot himself in the leg with his .22 caliber pistol, fell out of his pocket, and discharged after hitting the ground. No means no. Mark Cruz, 28 years old. Deputies say he was uncooperative, believe it or not. While being treated at a hospital, he refused to tell them where he disposed of the gun, according to the report. He told them he tossed it in some unnamed lake. After being released from the hospital, Cruz was taken to the Slammer, charged with being a felon in possession of a firearm, carrying a concealed firearm, and destroying physical evidence. No means no guns. You can't have a gun. No.
Well, I seem to have a lot of naked news, or at least, I don't know, some kind of, apparently we had like a transgender kind of weekend.
Okay, first of all, let's call it nude news. Naked makes it sound dirty. Nude is newsy. Naked is filthy.
Well, Jonathan Hardy was sentenced after he's a Seattle man who crashed his car while high on meth, pantsless, and wearing fake breasts.
Okay, that's naked.
He was in a police chase, crashed into 3 vehicles at 100 miles an hour. His 2 daughters, ages 4 and 6, were in the car. So this guy is not wearing any pants, wearing fake breasts. When police got to him, they found a full bottle of urine and a pair of panties at his feet. And so he's driving his 2 daughters at 100 miles an hour. Obviously, he was charged with vehicular assault, felony hit and run, and reckless operation.
I think that's beyond naked.
Yeah, one of the passengers in the other cars he hit needed 50 stitches for a head wound. So this guy was a menace to society.
Get him off the high. No means no. Well, I tell you what, I love this. This is right on the fold of the newspaper, so it's sort of a go. But a guy goes to a convenience store. He robs the clerk. He says, "But listen, don't call the cops because I'll come back. I'll pay you back." I'll pay you back. A man who robbed a convenience store begged the store clerk not to call police and said he would pay the money he had stolen. This is in Sarasota. Surveillance video showed Fabian Morrison. Now, is that a great name? That's a rock and roll star.
Yeah.
Hey, Fabian Morrison, baby. He's 21. He entered came in 7-Eleven with a 3-foot stick, demanding money from the clerk. After getting cash, Morrison told the clerk, "Don't call the cops. I'll pay you later, bro."
So really, he wasn't robbing them. He was just getting a loan.
He was borrowing from the 7-Eleven, at 7-Eleven credit union. After the video was played on the news, Morrison showed up at the front desk of the Sarasota Police Department with his mother. She probably anybody. "You rotten kid, you!" He told detectives he was the man seen in the surveillance video. He fessed up.
Well, in a related story to my last one, a tattooed Indiana man was celebrating Friday the 13th by dressing up as a woman and flashing his genitals as people passed. The guy who has previously been convicted on child molestation charges had already served 3.5 years prison sentence. He has several tattoos, including devil horn outlines on his forehead and a rose with vines on his lower back. But he was, dressed up as a woman and flashing his junk at people as they passed.
Man, I want to party with that dude. I think, actually, I may have seen this picture on the internet somewhere. Those horns on the forehead sound kind of familiar. Well, this story is really my last story, and it's not. It may not be of the caliber of what we usually go with, but this is a story, and I guess it's becoming popular. People who get food stamps, selling them on Facebook. So this is a story about a lady who got arrested because she had all of her contact information on there. She had $100 worth of food stamps she was selling for $50 in cash. Now, as wrong as that is, it just I was in a grocery store the other day picking up some stuff, to watch. This had to be Friday, and I was getting stuff for college football games on Saturday. I'd get some beer, and the lady just ahead of me had this darling little girl, about 4 years old, in her cart, and she's looking at me, and I'm smiling at her, and I said, "Do you know who I am?" And she says, "No." I went, "Ho, ho, ho, ho." And all of a sudden she says, it's Santa Claus. And her mother turns around, it's Santa Claus. And I have a picture of me as Santa Claus in my phone, and I showed it to her, and I was having a great time with this little girl. So I'm looking at what Mom has on the conveyor belt at the grocery store, and she's got crab, and she's got what are they called? Scallops. Delicious big ocean scallops, and stuff that you make guacamole out of. But I'm thinking, look, I want to be at your house. This looks fantastic. And then she goes to pay with it with food stamps.
Wow.
And I'm going, it's like cigarettes, liquor, crab, lobster. I don't know, I try not to get political, and I know I'm a conservative, but it just kind of seemed wrong to me. And so now we got this lady on Facebook, and they're saying in my story here that it's getting to be, that's happening a lot, people taking their food stamps and selling them for cash. So, because, liquor stores don't take food stamps, and they,
instead of making me outraged, you're just making me hungry.
I knew I shouldn't have used this story. This was just, didn't belong. It's out of here. Throw that one away.
All right. Well, drunk moose are terrorizing Sweden.
The Moose Club?
Yeah. Apparently the moose are eating apples that have fallen from the trees, and they're fermenting on the ground, and they're terrorizing the towns because I guess when you're a big moose and you get drunk, you get fearless. So they're ending up in people's homes. They're in one situation, a moose got into a full brawl with a swing set, and after he finally became untangled, he had drugged the swing set 820 feet.
And this is like West Side Story. When you're a moose all the way from the day that you're born till your last dying day. The moose and the elks are going to have a rumble down the highway.
I can just picture in my head, though, these, a gang of drunken moose terrorizing the city.
They've been in bars where I've been playing. They got those funny little hats and stuff.
All right, now back to business. Today, if you look right below us, there is a link.
Over to the right a little bit more.
There is a link to a great story. Why don't you tell us about it, Daryl?
Well, those who join us regularly know that I write children's books and music and poetry. And John and I have been discussing for quite some time now what makes videos go viral. We talked about the Miley Cyrus thing. We talked about the little girl who says, if I get 1 million likes, my daddy will buy me a puppy. So we've been just wanting to do an experiment, and I did a video of my latest book. My book won the Florida Writers Association Royal Palm Literary Awards as the best published children's book in Florida in 2012. I did a video of me telling this story, and we're not trying to sell books. Please understand, this is not a money thing. We're just trying to see, can we manufacture a viral video? So we want to ask you today, when we sign off here, if you will watch the video just below us here, this is called The King of Fish. And it's about an 8-minute story, and it's a good story. I mean, I wrote it, and I love this story. I'm passionate about this story. It's a children's story. But we're asking if you will watch it, and if you will share it with your friends on Facebook and your emails. And actually, that's the most important step. What do you think, John? The next step moving forward.
Absolutely. If you ask your friends to watch it, and if they like it, ask them to share it as well.
And they told 2 people, and they told 2 people, and before you know it, we have a viral video. And you know, it's an experiment. We know how many viewings we have at this point. Today, actually this morning, I'm so confused. What day is it now? I'm in a parallel universe at the moment. But today is the day we're asking for people to do this, and we're just going to start counting how many people will view my book, The King of Fish.
Well, that's all we have for Weird Wednesday. We will see everybody next week. Daryl, I'm getting ready to share it.
That's all, folks.
We'll see y'all next week.